Hello there, lads. Trying to get this Sweetheart Creek salmon fishing video finished up here. Started on it the other day and ended up spending so much time with the bears that we never did get into the salmon fishing. So we're going to give it a go here. Now on the reel, yeah, trying to get two trips to Sweetheart conglomerated into one so that we're not, just making this boring. So, reality is I didn't get a lot of footage of anything. I did get a little footage of a few things, and what I'm hoping you can do is just see the beauty of this place and look past the fact that I probably should have got a lot more video of a lot more things, and just be awed by the beauty. And it does not do it any justice. Most of the video that I've got is off a GoPro, which you can't zoom on, but nonetheless you can still see the beauty of this place. So let's head on back over to Sweetheart, and hopefully we can get in on, I don't know, some sockeye salmon. So let's go check that out. Doing any good?
I got 30 or 40.
Right on. Oh, right on, dude.
Hanging out like way out there. My last few throws I got 7.
Are you serious? Stud muffin? No. No. It was pretty cool, but well, it was kind of cute for the first few minutes, but it got uncomfortable. It's probably a 2-year-old cub and a mama, and I think the cub just wanted some fish and I didn't have any, and he just kept coming, and so it was kind of weird, but I think they're just accustomed to people giving them fish, and he was like, wait man, what up? Yeah, and I got I had the bear spray ready to go, so I'm hearing stories about orange face. Well, I appreciate you coming. It was, like I said, it wasn't too bad at first, but after long enough, and it got awkward enough that I was uncomfortable, and like I said, I've never taken the orange tab out of the bear spray before. I pulled the tab and was on the trigger ready to let her eat.
Yep.
And fortunately, the wind was in my favor.
Make sure you put it back on.
I did, yeah, I did.
Don't be like Alicia.
Oh no, did she? She inadvertently sprayed?
You never heard about that?
I don't guess so.
So that rock that we were on, that I normally throw from?
Yeah.
Well, I was throwing from that rock, and Alicia had taken the tab off of her bear spray.
Bears were getting close?
Well, earlier that day, she had been somewhere else, and they had gotten close to her.
Okay.
So she had taken the safety off her bear spray. She had taken the thing off her. She had shot a round of pepper spray out of her gun, and then she was up helping us on the rocks, and I had brought over a good load of fish, and I'd swung the net over. She was down getting them, and I bent over her like this, and she was like this, and she was up against the rocks, and she went like this, and I'm literally bent over her.
Oh no.
And it went
in the face.
Right in my face from about 1.5 to 2 feet.
Oh, point blank.
Point blank.
Yeah, I'll look that down. I was fortunately on the other end, put the fish on stringers, but I heard that hiss, and I used to being around where there's rattlesnakes and stuff.
Yeah,
I kind of jumped back like that, and I was like, what? And all of a sudden people are dropping. I'm like, whoa, this is...
That's awesome.
So whenever you see Orange Man bad, because my face was just solid orange.
Oh no.
So whenever you're on Facebook, if you see Orange Man Bad,
That's why.
that's
Yeah.
why.
That's
Because
just-
that's the joke, is because Alicia sprayed me.
No, they're just sparse, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but the last caught a glimpse. That's got potential. Yep. Yeehaw! Watch out, he's coming. They're slicker than greased owl snot.
Smiley. Lately, those scissors suck, so I just been like kind of bending it and just ripping the end off. They suck a lot, not kind of. They super suck.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think Mark and Jasmine pretty much consider you an Alaskan now.
No, I was glad Mark come when he did. It was getting, I was kind of out there on the point. I couldn't go nowhere else, and so,
The bear was after you then?
yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Mark just happened to wake up, look out the window, and seen it happening. And he wasn't running after me, but he was staying from here to that wall from me.
Yeah.
A few times he got a little closer than that. But as fast as I went, he would go. If I sped up, he sped up. If I slowed down, he slowed down. If I slowed down much, he would kind of close in on me.
What did Mark do?
Huh?
What did he do with the boat cage? Left?
Yeah, the mama finally came out, and as Mark was coming up, he was kind of revving the motor on the boat, and it detoured him. Peter and Alicia putting the fish in the barrel will float the barrel down river, down into the bay to the boat. It's too hard to carry all the fish out of here. But that is Sweetheart Creek, and it's just beautiful. It's raining, so we're all soaking wet, and kind of part of the gig here in Southeast Alaska this time of year. I think most times of the year. Salmon are stacked in down there. They're just out of chunk net range. There's a pile of throw nets hung up down here that people have left, but I can see right in this area a lot of fish swimming. You can't see them in the GoPro, but sockeye are stacked in down there. And if you throw that direction, the current will bring your net back to a snag right there in front of Mark, and you'll offer up a throw net. Oh, they're just stacked in right in there. Don't know if you can see them on here, maybe on the bigger screen, possibly, but most likely not. Nonetheless, Sweetheart Creek is beautiful. Hope I don't have any more run-ins like I had earlier today. That was an awkward run-in with that mama bear and cub. So definitely keep my eyes peeled on the way out. Okay, and there is a barrel full of sockeye. So versus carrying it out, let the current do the work. And Alicia has her dry suit on. She's fixing to hop in the river and float down the river with the barrel of Sockeye.
Next to the left.
Hold on. That's a two-man job, Luke. Might be a three-man job. One man and
All right, it's 4 a.m. We've got the moose yacht in the water. I'm fixing to hop in this joker and take it. I think it's 38 miles down to Sweetheart Creek and chase the sockeye today. Probably get some pinks out of the deal. Definitely be battling with the brown bears. So anyway, it's a little bit windy, so I'm a little concerned about going across the strait out there. I'm not sure what they call it. It's out in front of the Taku Inlet. I'm assuming it's going to be a little choppy. I know I got to pass 6 cruise ships on the way. Those things make a pretty good bump, and yeah, so we'll see. Little intimidated, a little nervous. Yeah, I mean it's just a big John boat. Fortunately, it's got a high bow, which can make it handle some wave, but it can sure beat you to a pulp when you get into that stuff. So it's gonna be an interesting day, to say the least. I'll have to drive the boat down and then drive it back and then run the crab pots on the way back. And tomorrow night, actually, start the flight home back to Texas. So been an incredible trip thus far. Looking forward to a great day at my favorite place on the planet right now, which is Sweetheart Creek. All right, here we go. It's gonna be a long run here, but it'll be all right. Life jackets are in there. Light enough to see, but I think we're fixing to go into some really dense fog here pretty soon. I'm hearing a lot of chatter on the radio of folks out there where we're headed. That is pretty good indication. Visibility is going to be next to nothing, so I'll try to stay close enough to Mark that I can see him and hopefully not have any issues. I'm going to shut you guys off, save the battery. Top of the ship is in the fog. I've had to pull up a little closer to him just to keep him in sight. I don't know, I'm probably 75 yards from the boat right now. It's pretty thick in here, that's for sure. And it seems like it's just getting thicker. Almost to Sweetheart. It's been some rough seas getting here in the old flat bottom, but I tell you what, I'm glad I did it, simply because I'm getting to sit out here in the flat bottom by myself. First time I've been alone in 2 weeks. I do a lot of stuff by myself typically. I spend a lot of time alone. I don't get do a lot of stuff with many people, so I've kind of gotten acclimated and accustomed to being alone. The last 2 weeks, I've been very blessed to hang out with some good friends and my bride, do some cool stuff here in Alaska. But this right now I don't need to say anything. I know you can look at what I'm seeing, even on the phone. It don't do it justice. But I know you can see this and just feel the presence of God. So what I say is just have a look-see and bask in what I see. Because I know you see it. Hallelujah. I've learned here in Alaska, right off the fish table, take yourself a nice fresh piece, sockeye, and eat it. All right, so that is one of my favorite places. It is actually my favorite place on the planet. And I don't know if you noticed in the video there, but one day the water was really clear and it rained a lot that night, and so the water got murky. And so the second day that we were actually there, the first time that we went, spent the evening, and then we spent the night on the boat, and then the next morning back up in there. Well, the next morning we went back and the water was really murky. You couldn't see the fish hardly at all. And that's kind of what I take from this event there at Sweetheart Creek was one day you could see what you're targeting. You could literally see the salmon in the water. You kind of knew where to throw, just because you could physically sight fish, if you will, sight cast. The second day, you couldn't see jack. The water was murky. It looked almost like the Brazos River. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was really murky and cloudy, and you couldn't see what to do. But we knew what to do from previous experience. From the day before, we knew what to do, even though we couldn't see it. So by faith, we were throwing where we knew that those fish should be, and guess what? They were still there, even though we couldn't see them. And that's kind of what spoke to me about this trip. And it's just how God works, man. He wants to use things in your life to speak to you, and that's what he spoke to me. Just got a text here, so reading that. That's what he spoke to me was, man, one day you can see what you're supposed to do. The next day you might not know, you might not be able to see it. But by faith, you know what to do. And that's the challenge. Do what you know to do, even when you don't see it, even when it don't feel right, even when it's cold and miserable and your hands are numb and you're getting rained on and conditions are not ideal. You know what to do, so just keep doing it. So that's the takeaway. Simple. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. Sometimes creation doesn't have to go into some deep theological thing. It's just simple. And I think God wants to speak to you and things in your life and situations in your life that are just like this murky creek, this Sweetheart Creek. One day was crystal clear. You could see them, and the next day you couldn't. But we knew where they were. We knew the area that they were wanting to be at because we had seen it before. You've seen things in your life before. You know the right way to be. You know the right way to dig yourself out of this mess. And a lot of times it is just to trust in what he was doing yesterday, that he'll do the same thing today, because he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So the faith that you were putting in him, that he brought you out yesterday, he'll do it today. Just trust and believe. He is going to sustain. He is going to meet the needs of you and your family. Put your faith and your hope and your trust in him, and man, he'll take care of business. So anyway, yeah, I hope y'all could see a little bit of the beauty of this place up here. And I'm not lying, that boat ride down there, it did everything it could possibly do wrong to my back. And I wouldn't have traded it for anything. It was so beautiful getting to be out there. Kind of losing myself again just thinking about it. Being out there. and seeing the beauty of the clouds laying on the mountains and the calm water, and man, it was surreal for me. And I don't encourage people to chase places to find God. I encourage people to learn that He is omnipresent, and so He is findable right there where you're at. But in our carnality, sometimes it's just easier when we're at a place where there's just not a lot of noise and there's not a lot of people around, and the tranquility of the beauty of creation sometimes just is easier in that place that you have, that you know of, that you can go to. So again, I want to encourage you to learn that He is where you're at right now. You don't have to go to a place, but man, sometimes going to that place pays big dividends, and it did for me that day. It did something in my soul that even thinking about it right now, I'm choking up. Man, God's good and creation's beautiful, and He speaks through it, to you, in it, all of it. Listen, seek, find, ask, knock, all those things. He wants to meet you there. He wants to meet you where you're at right now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed, sweetheart. And we got some crabbing stuff coming up, and then again, elk season just around the corner. So keep tuning in, keep sharing, we grew a little bit this last week. The bear video brought a few more viewers on and a few more subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, I'd encourage you to subscribe and then click the little bell and all that stuff, and you'll get heads up whenever we post new videos. Share them. I do believe that there's stuff in here that could advance the kingdom of heaven and touch people and grow people and encourage people, and challenge. So anyway, you know the drill. Much love. Bless you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.